Hey everyone, welcome to the Viridian News Sports Podcast. I'm Brooklyn.
I'm Cassidy.
And I'm Drew. Today we'll mainly talk about the University of Georgia football, but touch on college football as a whole.
Thank you all for listening, and let's get started.
So what do you guys think about Carson Beck getting the starting job over Stockton and Vandegrift?
I feel like he deserves it after working all offseason, working with Stetson Bennett and with Todd Monken and Mike Bobo. He definitely deserves it. He has the most experience, and I feel like his arm can really bring Georgia back again for a third championship.
I agree. Carson Beck is pretty good if he tries.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it'll definitely be tough since we lost Stetson, but I think he can do it.
Do y'all think the defense can produce the same type of production as the last year?
You know, I don't know that it'll be the same because it's mostly they lost a lot to the draft. But I think with all the coaching staff there, they can definitely be great.
It'll be hard with, as she said, all new players. So the practices and the coaching will hopefully get them up to win another championship.
I definitely feel like they can still produce at a high rate, especially with Will Muschamp as the defense coordinator. But it's going to be really hard to try to reproduce with the two of the best defenses of all time.
Will the offense have the same firepower?
I mean, I think so. They still have Brock Bowers and they still have McConkey. I think they'll still be great. You know, it'll be an adjustment with a new quarterback, but I think they can do it.
I feel like they can still have a high-powered offense, but I don't think it'll be 40 points per game, 45 points per game. I feel like it'll definitely be a high-powered offense, but just not as good as last year.
Do you guys think Mike Boo can back into an All-American as QB?
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, puts in enough work, he can definitely do it.
I agree.
Seeing what Bobo did with Aaron Murray, it's going to be hard not to have at least high expectations.
Will the injury of Branson Robinson hurt the running back room?
I definitely feel like it'll be a little bit of a sting because he was definitely one of our most valuable running backs and he was supposed to get a lot of play time. But with the depth of the running backs, I feel like it'll be really good. I think it'll be okay, especially with Cash Jones.
I think it will be a setback, but if they recover from it and work with it, they can bounce right back. Who do you think UGA's easiest game is and why?
I'd probably have to say probably UT Martin. They always start off easy games. They don't really have a tough schedule. Their first couple of games are always these no-name teams that nobody knows about. So.
I know it's still SEC football, but I have to go with Vanderbilt. The past 2 years have been utter and complete domination, so I'm just going to have to choose Vanderbilt as the easiest game.
Who is UGA's hardest game and why?
I'd probably have to say Tennessee. Georgia's playing at Tennessee this year, and I've heard they have a really loud environment. And, you know, I have all faith that Georgia can pull out a win, but, you know, a tough environment will make the game hard.
It's definitely hard to choose, in my opinion, but if I had to narrow it down, I would say either South Carolina or Tennessee. South Carolina is on the uprise with Shane Beamer, Spencer Rattler, and their high-powered offense might be a little troublesome for our secondary.
I think it'll be Tennessee because of the environment and of how hard it'll be to play there.
So who do you think will be the 4 team captains of this year? I think it'll be 2 offense, 2 defense. For the offense, I think it'll be Brock Bowers and Kendall Milton. Actually, no, Brock Bowers and Cedric Van Pran. And then on the defense, I'll go Malachi Starks and Javon Bullard.
I agree with you.
Who will take the step and be the leader on offense?
It's hard to say the leader, but I have to go with Brock Bowers. I mean, the guy's a freak, and that loud locker room voice has to be at least something to get the offense hyped up.
If UGA wins another national championship, do you think Kirby looks deeper into NFL offers?
I'm not sure, but I definitely think he doesn't really have a reason to leave Georgia. All the great things he's done for the team, I don't see why he would leave to give it to another guy.
I feel like he might take a dip into NFL offers, but I don't think he should leave UGA. I don't think he will, especially with the winning environment. It's going to be hard to replicate that at an NFL level.
What do you all think about the Pac-12 disbanding?
Personally, I don't pay attention to the Pac-12, so I don't have anything to say about it.
In my opinion, it's kind of sad to see. With all the teams leaving for money issues, I feel like it's going to be really sad after this year because there will be no more Pac-12.
Who are 2 teams you think the SEC will try to add?
I think they'll try to add Florida State and Clemson. Like I said, it's going to be a big money issue. So it's definitely going to be – I think it's going to be one of those 2 teams because they already added Texas and Oklahoma. What's stopping them from adding the other 2?
I think it's going to be probably Michigan or Ohio State.
Yeah, I agree.
So who do y'all think will make the playoff?
I think it's going to be Georgia, probably Alabama, LSU, and Tennessee.
Georgia, I'm a Georgia fan. I hope they can make it for a 3rd one this year. So Georgia, I feel like Alabama will make it in there somehow. Maybe LSU and Clemson.
It's really hard to tell with 5 really good teams, but I think it'll be Georgia, Ohio State, either Alabama or LSU, and then USC or Michigan. So a little bit of an off-topic question is, do y'all think Ohio State will beat Michigan? And if so, what do y'all think will the score be?
I don't really pay attention, but I do, from watching the Georgia and Ohio State game last year, I do know that to me it looked like they folded under pressure. So maybe with the big game like that and the pressure being on them, I don't think they'll be able to beat Michigan.
Last year, Michigan beat Ohio in a final score, so I think if Ohio probably will try to step up their game, I think they can beat it.
I feel like this game will determine the playoff like it did last year, but I definitely feel like Ohio State can come out and beat Michigan after 2 years of just getting demolished.
What do y'all think the final score of the Georgia versus Florida game will be?
I think Georgia will probably beat Florida by 10 points. I want to say maybe 40 versus 30 with Georgia.
I mean, with the hatred, with everything going on with it, I feel like it has to be Georgia scoring at least 30, Florida scoring maybe 20. Last year's game, it was full of emotions. The Dogs were up 28-3 at half and only won by 22. So I feel like the final score will probably be 37 to about 17 or 18.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with you right there. Will any teams make a TCU run this year? Start unranked and finish in the top 10 or make the college football playoffs?
I feel like could be a couple teams. Mainly, I'll narrow it down to 3. One team, TCU. I mean, what's stopping them from going again? I feel like UCF could definitely make it there. After they've been really good the last couple years, including a 13-0 or 14-0. I can't remember. 2017 season. And then one more team, I feel like it could probably be Florida. I mean, even though everyone's doubting them, I'm a Georgia fan, but they definitely have the talent and they have the recruiting skills to definitely finish top 10.
I think some of them could be probably Auburn because they have a pretty good record, or Miami because they have the same record as Auburn does.
All right, we'll ask a few more. So who do y'all think will make the championship?
Hopefully Georgia, three-peat, and then maybe Clemson. I think Clemson could be really good this year, so maybe they could make it.
I think the game is going to be like it was last year of Georgia and Alabama, being a tight game.
It's going to be really hard to tell, but I got to go with Georgia versus Ohio State, especially last year's semifinal game, one of the best games of all time. I feel like it's got to be a rematch of that. That would be picture perfect. That's what everyone wants to see, and there's no reason behind stopping it.
Thank you guys for listening to the Viridian News Sports Podcast.
The college football world is going to get real shaky real soon.
Next episode, we're going to really deep dive into the SEC and possibly more realignment news.
We just want to say a quick thank you to the sponsor of today's podcast, Silver Sky Woodworking Company. Have a good day, and always remember, go Dogs.